Part 98. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 971. Chapter 971 I only recognize the national male god. By the way, do you want to clarify it on Weibo, for example, is there an engagement or something? Xia Ying put down her pen and thought for a while. I originally planned to tell everyone later, but since I can't hide it anymore, let's just leave it like this. It won't make any difference if I don't tell you. Well, by the way, you've been on a lot of hot searches this year. Mu Niankai held her chin up, looked sideways at Xia Ying and said, you have so much traffic this year, I guess you will be the national goddess at the end of the year. This kind of thing, just let it happen. Xia Ying then took the pen and started taking notes, and stopped answering. However, I think the list of national male idols seems to be very competitive. Mu Niankai looked at her phone and analyzed casually, when Jun Chenai was here before, he was always steady. The first place, but something like this happened to Jun Chenai this year. Except for the die-hard fans, everyone has almost left. This year's new forces are strong, such as Qian Yin's. There are so many die-hard fans, and the current ranking is. It is second. The difference in votes with the first Jun Chenai is getting smaller and smaller. The third best actor Su cannot be underestimated this year. The increase is amazing. In addition, the new drama The Ghost Doctor Empress is about to be aired. This drama has already become popular before it is aired. Just some leaked clips have been searched many times. Alas, I still hope that Jun Chenai can hold on to the number 1 spot this year. I really do. I only recognize him. Mu Niankai became more and more sad as she talked, making Xia Ying less and less in the mood to take notes. Xia Ying put down her pen, looked at Mu Niankai, and said word by word, if you miss him, go see him. Mu Niankai raised her gloomy eyes and looked at Xia Ying, it's not just me who misses him, we all miss him. Xia Ying pursed her lips and did not answer. After Jun Chenai left, his fans have been waiting for him to come back. Especially since Jun Chenai said that he would come back, his fans have always adhered to this belief, waiting for him to return to the entertainment industry and regain what belongs to them. Jun Chenai's light. When Xia Ying came home, Chu Shenxiu was sitting on the sofa with a dejected face, his phone put aside, completely uninterested in playing games. Xia Ying put down her school bag, walked towards Chu Shenxiu maliciously, sat down next to Chu Shenxiu, pushed his arm, and asked, hey, what's wrong with you today? It's rare to see you in a bad mood. The probability of low pressure in Chu Shenxiu is probably equivalent to seeing a meteor shower or the like. This guy seems to be laughing and joking all the time and being carefree. Chu Shenxiu looked at Xia Ying with dull eyes, and his mouth was raised as if he had been greatly wronged. Why are you back today? Didn't Xia Ying say that she and Yu Lingfeng have been living in the castle together recently? I just came back to pick up something and left immediately I saw you like this, so I came here to take pleasure in your misfortune. Xia Ying said with a smile, looking at Chu Shenxiu mockingly. Chu Shenxiu pouted, not understanding Xia Ying's joke at all. Xia Ying saw that Chu Shenxiu was acting like a wooden man, so she became serious and asked, Big Turtle Dove, what's going on? Is it possible that your aunt and uncle are forcing you to meet that little princess? Chu Shenxiu was startled and looked at Xia Ying in horror, damn it, how could you guess so accurately? Xia Ying smiled and said, I was just guessing. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 972. Chapter 972, I can't bear to offer you money. No matter, since you guessed it, you have to help me. Chu Shenxiu said, holding Xia Ying's arm to prevent her from leaving. Xia Ying scratched her head helplessly and began to regret why she was meddling in other people's business and talking too much. Now that Chu Shenxiu is entangled, he doesn't know when he can leave. How can I help? The other party is a royal princess. Besides, we will meet you sooner or later. You can hide for a while, but you can't hide for the rest of your life. Xia Ying tried to make Chu Shenxiu accept the arrangement. After hearing this, Chu Shenxiu said angrily, "Forget it, cousin Xia Ying, even you won't help me. At worst, I will go out to avoid the limelight. I can avoid it for a while." After Chu Shenxiu finished speaking, he stood up and left with melancholy. Xia Ying curled her lips and felt helpless. It wasn't that she didn't want to help, it was just that she was unable to help. A series of things have happened recently, and Yu Lingfeng's eyes have not recovered yet. Xia Ying really doesn't have the extra energy to take care of Chu Shenxiu's trouble, which doesn't seem to be much trouble. Xia Ying left with her school bag on her back. At night, Yu Lingfeng sat on the sofa and listened quietly to a book. Yu Lingfeng has always liked reading. Although his eyes are inconvenient now, he still wants to listen to books. Of course, Xia Ying couldn't understand the kind of profound books that Yu Lingfeng liked. Xia Ying was soaking in the bathtub at the moment. She had been scrolling through Weibo since the beginning, and the expression on her face became more and more ferocious. Once a star becomes famous, what follows is an overwhelming amount of so-called black material, both fake and real. It used to be Xia Ying herself, then Qian Yin's, and now, it's Liang Ye's turn. Xia Ying originally thought that with Liang Ye's background, there would be no so-called informed people to break the news, but who knew that Liang Ye had just released a new album a few days ago, and its sales have been on the charts. The sales record is about to be broken, and just at this time, the so-called peeling stickers are coming. Liang Ye is indeed a mountain man, with bad conduct and vulgar behavior. He used to be a resident singer in a bar. It is said that he often likes to harass female customers and has been complained many times. It is true that he has some talent, but with his character, he never expected that he would become so popular now and be praised by his fans as the original leader of China. How ridiculous! Liang Ye really did everything for money before. Didn't someone say before that he was kept by a rich woman? Is the person upstairs here to make fun of you? Will anyone spend money to support Liang Ye's looks? I can't bear to give you money, okay. It is said that Liang Ye doesn't appear on variety shows because of his moral issues. After all, he has no education, and his secrets will be exposed as soon as he appears on the show. If Xia Ying hadn't protected him, such a person would really not be able to gain a foothold in the entertainment industry. A singer anonymously broke the news before that Liang Ye promised to write songs for him before he signed with Xia Ying Company, but as soon as he signed the contract, he immediately broke the contract. No more songs were written, no liquidated damages were paid, and he turned around and became famous. Wow, tisk tisk, what a character. Xia Ying was so angry that her hand holding the phone trembled. Liang Ye called Xia Ying. The voice on the other end of the phone was trembling and weak. He probably had never thought that online violence was such a terrible thing. So now that I am suddenly here, I am completely panicked. Although his agent and assistant have been comforting him, telling him that this is a normal phenomenon and they will deal with it, Liang Ye has a bad mentality, so he has been in a hurry now. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 973. Chapter 973 Give Liang Ye a variety show. Xia Ying, what should I do? I want to post on Weibo to clarify, but Sister Wan and the others won't let me go on Weibo now. It's okay, let the public relations handle it. Whether it is black or white, I will give you an explanation and I will not let you be scolded for no reason. As for the rumor mongers, we will also find them out. Don't worry about these, they are all normal phenomena. The more popular people are, the easier it is to be hacked. You have to make yourself strong enough. Xia Ying comforted Liang Ye for a long time, and Liang Ye felt a little better. After hanging up the phone, Xia Ying called Sister Wan again and discussed how to deal with it. The police were also dealing with it. They just waited for Xia Ying to nod. Sent the statement. Let's give Liang Ye a variety show. As soon as Xia Ying finished speaking, Sister Wan on the other end of the phone said in surprise, "What? You must know that from the beginning, when Xia Ying and Liang Ye signed a contract, Liang Ye had made it clear that he would only make music with peace of mind and did not want to join the circle. He would not participate in variety shows or anything like that." Xia Ying agreed readily at that time, but now Xia Ying has changed her words and said that she will arrange a variety show for him. Whether Liang Ye will agree is still a question. Isn't there a variety show called You Are the Singer that is about to be broadcast? Now the instructor has sent someone to sign up for Liang Ye. I will talk to Liang Ye about other matters. Good. Since Xia Ying said so, Sister Wan had nothing to say. After hanging up the phone, she started to contact the official of You Are the Singer. Xia Ying told Liang Ye about this matter, but Liang Ye naturally refused at first. But Xia Ying said, that show will have many young people who love music and follow their dreams. Liang Ye, they are just like you back then, but they just lack opportunities and a stage. Now you have the ability to give them such an opportunity and stage. Liang Ye is a very simple person, and it was not easy for him to go all the way, so Xia Ying's words touched him very much. He nodded and agreed. Xia Ying also has her own selfish motives. This show will be very popular in the future. If Liang Ye serves as a mentor and judge, not only will her own fame be greatly increased. According to Xia Ying's understanding of Liang Ye is a person who takes music so persistently and seriously. It is obviously easier for him to gain fans when he appears on this kind of program than for those who simply have an entertainment mentality. As long as Liang Ye appears on such a program, the audience can see the sincerity of Liang Ye. The entertainment industry is indeed a very deep place. Many people disguise themselves well under the personas and masks carefully packaged by the company and are very popular, but no one knows what kind of face they have under the mask. Liang Ye is different, he is a person who loves music. Such a person is very pure, does not need to pretend, and has his own light. Xia Ying hopes that people like Liang Ye will go further. He is a breath of fresh air in the entertainment industry and is truly the source of original power in the music industry. Such people must not die in the hands of keyboard warriors. Xia Ying was still thinking about something when there was a knock on the door. Xia Ying. Well, what's wrong? Xia Ying answered. I'm afraid you fell asleep in there. Yu Lingfeng's tone was smiling. Xia Ying was stunned for a moment, thinking that she had indeed been in there for a long time. I'll be out soon. Xia Ying said, putting down her phone and preparing to get her clothes. However, Xia Ying turned around and realized that she had forgotten her pajamas. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 974. Chapter 974 I Can See It. Yu Lingfeng. Xia Ying quickly called out to Yu Lingfeng who was about to leave. Yu Lingfeng heard Xia Ying's voice and retracted the leg he had just stepped out. What's wrong? I forgot to bring my pajamas. Please help me get them. They should be on the bed. Good. Yu Lingfeng nodded, as if remembering something. He turned back to Xia Ying and said, by the way, I'll tell you some good news later. What's the good news? Xia Ying immediately became curious. She really needed good news to calm her anger. I just saw how stupid the trolls and some netizens who followed the trend on Weibo made her furious. We'll talk about it after you come out. Alright. After a while, Yu Lingfen knocked on the door again. Xia Ying quickly got up from the bathtub. It had to be said that she seemed to have been in the bath for a long time, and now she felt that the skin on her body was a little wrinkled. Yu Lingfeng held Xia Ying's silk pajamas in her hands. They were soft and fragrant and felt very good to the touch. After a while, the door opened. Xia Ying thought that Yu Lingfeng couldn't see her anyway, so she just appeared naked. "Thank you." Xia Ying took the pajamas and put them on in front of Yu Lingfeng. Yu Lingfeng's pupils dilated instantly, and his face and ears began to flush. Yu Lingfeng held his breath, and then, silently, turned sideways, although he could still see clearly from the corner of his eye. He should have told her the good news earlier. Xia Ying put on her clothes and suddenly found Yu Lingfeng in front of her, her face red and bleeding, and she turned sideways, as if she was avoiding something. Xia Ying paused in her heart, reached out and poked Yu Lingfeng's arm, and asked softly, "Yu Lingfeng, what's wrong with you?" Yu Lingfeng then turned around and looked at Xia Ying, her throat tightened. When her eyes fell on Xia Ying, the ambiguous scene just now lingered for a long time. Yu Lingfeng moved his throat, and then said after a while, "It's nothing." Xia Ying raised her eyebrows. It was strange. Yu Lingfeng was obviously lying. There was clearly something there, so why did she say it was nothing? "Do you have a fever? Why is your face so red?" Before Yu Lingfeng could answer, Xia Ying had already moved closer to Yu Lingfeng and put her hand on his forehead. Xia Ying's face was still covered with mist and wet drops of moisture. She didn't apply makeup, but she was extremely charming. "Your face is so hot." Xia Ying is still talking to herself. "Do you want to take medicine, or will you heal on your own in a while?" Xia Ying then asked. Xia Ying has always been surprised by Yu Lingfeng's miraculous physique. Yu Lingfeng looked at Xia Ying, paused, and then said as if he mustered up his courage, "I can see it." "Real?" Xia Ying's eyes lit up and she threw herself into Yu Lingfeng's arms, who embraced her softly. "For a moment, I felt a little dazed." Xia Ying was overjoyed, but realized it belatedly. Yu Lingfeng could see it. She seemed to be naked in front of her just now, and then, Yu Lingfeng's face was so red now. After sorting out the relationship between cause and effect, Xia Ying hugged Yu Lingfeng even tighter, buried her face deeply into Yu Lingfeng's chest, and said vaguely and charmingly, "This is so embarrassing." Yu Lingfeng smiled lowly and reached out to stroke Xia Ying's still damp hair. "So, I don't need to take medicine. I'll be fine in a while." End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 975. Chapter 975. Are you going to get slapped in the face personally? The next day, the official blog of Thornbird Entertainment refuted the false news about Liang Ye spread on the internet. At the same time, it stated that legal responsibility would be pursued and the person who spread the rumor would be found and then met in court. There are different opinions on this news on the internet, but this statement still made Liang Ye feel good. If he was not 100% sure, he would not threaten to sue the rumor maker. However, many people still think it is hype and bluff. In this era of free speech, very few people are actually caught for spreading rumors about celebrities. After all, for them, this is also a kind of hype and exposure, so they usually leave it alone, but Xia Ying's attitude was very strong. Liang Ye didn't become famous through hype, so naturally he didn't care about it. If someone spreads rumors to ruin his reputation, then Xia Ying will definitely pursue it to the end. Not long after refuting the rumors, the official blog of the program You Are a Singer posted on Weibo and announced the list of mentors. Liang Ye was the first one, which naturally attracted widespread attention. Did Liang Ye deliberately participate in a variety show to refute rumors? Didn't you say that you never participate in variety shows? What does it mean now, to get slapped in the face personally? Upstairs, hasn't Liang Ye always regarded himself as aloof and despised the sensationalism of variety shows? Now that your character is in crisis, You can't wait to come out to cleanse your name? No matter what you say, anyway, I am looking forward to Liang Ye's variety show debut. Is it still dark upstairs? Is it wrong for people to make music with peace of mind? Besides, isn't this show also about music? Doesn't it conflict with Liang Ye's consistent positioning? I'm curious how much money you paid to blackmail a good singer who honestly makes music without hype. It's okay. These people are all trolls. They probably took money to blackmail you. Just ignore them. It's probably our competitors who did it. They are already investigating. Just do your job well. These things, don't worry about it. Xia Ying patted Liang Ye on the shoulder and said to him. Liang Ye nodded and responded to Xia Ying with a determined look, I will. Xia Ying glanced at the document Liang Ye was looking at the moment. He asked curiously, what are you looking at? Oh, Liang Ye moved the information document in hand towards Xia Ying, scratched his head sheepishly, and explained, after all, this is my first time participating in a variety show, and this show is quite meaningful. So I want to study the program rules first and what the process of previous similar singer talent shows was like. Before Liang Ye met Xia Ying, he had participated in many similar talent shows, but he was ultimately defeated because of his background and birth. This program is different. It is a live broadcast. Even if there are shady scenes, he will still do his best to protect the hard-won fairness. Xia Ying listened to what Liang Ye said and glanced at Liang Ye's notebook on the side, where he recorded something in crooked words one by one. Liang Ye has not read any books, but he understands many things that many people will never understand in their lifetime. Precisely because his own success is hard-won, Liang Ye particularly respects the dreams of others. Master Ono. At this moment, a burgundy red head popped out of the door and blinked at Liang Ye and Xia Ying narrowly. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 976. Chapter 976. He actually has a girlfriend. Is Qian Yin's. Qian Yin's has been running diligently in major variety shows recently, and the reason is very simple. Qian Yin's has a lively personality, and from time to time he will make some unexpected quotes, which often make hot searches and become internet hot words. So over time, slightly famous variety shows have extended an olive branch to Qian Yin's, hoping that he can participate. Because of Qian Yin's great influence, he appeared on an old variety show that was lukewarm some time ago and was about to be discontinued. However, after the airing of Qian Yin's episode, the show actually came back to life and is now even crowded. Entered the ranks of popular variety shows. Therefore, Qian Yin's is now nicknamed the Little Prince of variety shows. Xia Ying, you are here too. Qian Yin's walked over with a warm smile on his face. Xia Ying frowned and looked at Qian Yin's unrestrained burgundy hair. This guy was originally a mixed race, and his skin was so white that it reflected light. Now paired with the dazzling red, he looked like a vampire aristocrat. Isn't he handsome? Qian Yin's fiddled with his hair and looked at Xia Ying with a proud face. You've been changing your hair frequently lately. Don't worry, these are plant-based hair dyes, and they are disposable and will come off after washing. It's better to worry less. Xia Ying said slowly. By the way, I'll live broadcast with 20 million fans later. Do you want to appear on camera with me? Qian Yin's pulled Liang Ye's sleeve and said in a flattering way. Now Qian Yin's is learning lyrics and songwriting from Liang Ye, so he has been living like a doglegger like Liang Ye recently. He was afraid that Liang Ye would be offended by his poor singing one day and leave him alone. Xia Ying immediately lost her composure when she heard the word live broadcast coming out of Qian Yin's mouth. Live streaming. Which Qian Yin's live broadcast didn't cause some trouble. This guy actually wants to live broadcast, Can't he be more honest? No. Qianyins didn't wait for Liang Ye's answer, but instead waited for Xia Ying's abrupt refusal. Qianyins lowered his head and looked at Xia Ying. This is a fan benefit. I have agreed to it, and Sister Wan also agreed. Just at this time, Sister Wan came over. After hearing Qianyin's words, she retorted, "Hey, it's only half an hour. You should pay attention to the time and do it under the supervision of the assistant." Qianyins rolled his eyes, one by one, treating him like a devil. Institutions. Qianyins responded half-heartedly. You are not allowed to say anything about your middle grade. The messengers of darkness, the sons of light, and the like are prohibited. Xia Ying then added. Know it? Qianyins responded angrily. Don't answer every question, especially in this sensitive period. I'm sure many black men from Lianjai will sneak in and ask you some questions, so just ignore them. I understand. Don't talk about you and 11 Ju. No. Qianyins paused and looked at Xia Ying suspiciously. Why is this banned? Xia Ying was so angry that she covered her chest and said, can you take care of your girlfriend a little bit? Qianyins smiled coquettishly. Oh. He actually has a girlfriend? Qianyins himself didn't want to believe it. How much courage did he have to straighten him out? Hey, I want to live broadcast with Master Ono. It was only then that Qianyins remembered that the purpose of his visit was not to listen to Xia Ying's lectures. Xia Ying frowned. What are you going to do with Liang Ye's live broadcast? End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 977. Chapter 977. Qian Bao is so upright. Qianyins straightened up and replied with an expression of indignation, now that my master Ono is being scolded so badly on the internet, of course I have to do something. Xia Ying glanced at Qianyins lightly and said seriously, we all feel your feelings, but there is no need to discuss this matter. This matter is not as simple as you think. If you take action, you will be too deliberate. Well, you might even be hacked. The more important point is that Xia Ying felt that Qianyins, the second grader, would not be able to keep his mouth shut when the time came, and it would probably be counterproductive, so she would not let him take Liang Ye to live broadcast. Qianyins pouted dissatisfiedly after hearing this. After all, you still don't believe in my ability. Xia Ying was non-committal. Anyway, we must be careful about this matter. Liang Ye is a sensitive person, not as careless as Qianyins. Xia Ying wants to solve these online violence for him as soon as possible. I don't want to continue to go dark and cause other effects. Liang Ye's recent work situation has been affected. Although he didn't say anything, Xia Ying could tell at a glance, so this matter must be resolved as soon as possible. Okay, I have good intentions. If you don't accept it, forget it, then I will go live alone to benefit my fans. Qianyins deliberately made his voice longer for everyone to hear, and also deliberately paused 3 times while walking, just to try to persuade them to stay. Unfortunately, no one paid attention to his actions as a dramatist. Qianyins walked out the door with a dark face. These guys really are. He will prove his strength to them. At 7 o'clock in the evening, Qianyins started the live broadcast on time, and the number of online viewers increased explosively, which was really scary. My agent won't let me talk nonsense, but I'm a talker and can't hold my tongue at all. How about I play games live this time? If you want to ask anything, just say it directly on the barrage, I will watch. Qianyins said and opened the game. Qianyins' level of playing games is pretty good. When his family was in decline, Qianyins had been playing games in internet cafes during that time. I also met a few professional players, and later I signed a contract to be a singer, so I didn't have much time to play. But after not playing for a long time, Qianyins became addicted to playing. Husband, did you agree to watch the barrage? Qianbao Bao, look at me, when will you release a new song? Qianyins was immersed in playing the game. After playing for nearly 15 minutes, he remembered that he was live broadcasting, so he raised his head and looked at the words of fans on the barrage. New song? Didn't I just post it a while ago? Slowly first. What have you been doing recently? Learn to write songs with my master. Oh no, Master Ono is Liangye. Yes, he is a great person. I have been asking him to teach me how to write songs. Qian Bao, don't talk about Liangye, he will get you into trouble. Yes, the current environment is not suitable. I am afraid that you will be hacked together. Qianyins looked at the barrage and laughed. What's there to be afraid of? I'm telling the truth. They're not afraid of those who tell lies. Why should I be afraid? Qianyins spoke confidently, but his fans were speechless. My husband is so willful. If my husband supports it, then I will also support Liangye and believe in my husband. Qian Bao is so upright, I just like you, you are so sincere and cute. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 978. Chapter 978, How many lifetimes of luck have been accumulated? Because Qianyins mentioned Liangye in the live broadcast room, it didn't take long for those Liangye black men to appear. Who doesn't know that Qianyins and Liangye are from the same company, and their interests are closely related to the artists of the same company, so of course they help to speak. Qianyins and Liangye are both Xia Ying's right-hand men. Of course, the relationship between the two of them is better, which doesn't mean anything. Is this the whole company coming to clear Liangye's name? Qianyins, I feel sorry for myself, because I am being used as a fan. Qianyins looked at the barrage and it became more and more strange. He sneered and said, it is so fast. Okay, now that we have talked about this issue today, let's talk openly. You said Liangye touched the female customer. Hey, where's the evidence? They all hid behind the keyboard and made up their money. If you really want to complain about it, then come out and diss it first. Who wouldn't do it without evidence? Yes, Liangye comes from a poor background and has never read any books, but he has good conduct and donates money and things to the children in his hometown every month. You can check these records and leave the rest to me. Liangye will prove it to you in time, and we have already investigated the case, and those who spread the rumors will not let them go. Qianyins is still broadcasting live, while Xia Ying and the others are peeking at the screen on the other end of their mobile phones. Qianyins was originally warned not to get involved in Liangye's matter, but Qianyin's words were like water being thrown out and he couldn't stop them at all. Xia Ying saw that the response on the barrage seemed to be pretty good, so she didn't stop it. Qianyins really likes him as Master Ono. Although this guy usually looks irrational, at the critical moment, he actually talks about common sense. Qianyins has a huge fan base, so as long as he expresses his stance, his fans will follow suit and switch sides smoothly. Liangye looked on with mixed feelings in his heart. He did not expect that his matter would be so serious, nor did he expect that in today's online world, just one mouth could really make irresponsible remarks. Well, this matter will be dealt with as soon as possible, and I will definitely clear your name by then. Xia Ying patted Liangye on the shoulder and said to him. Liangye nodded and looked at Xia Ying with emotion. Meeting you is really the luck I have accumulated over several lifetimes. So why aren't we? Xia Ying replied with a smile. After Qianyins finished the live broadcast, it was no surprise that he and Liangye were on the top of the hot search. Qianyins himself is also a huge traffic. Although he is an artist from the same company, usually when encountering this kind of situation, everyone is fine, because no one knows whether the public opinion on the internet will pour dirty water on him. On unrelated people. However, precisely because Qianyins has a lot of traffic and very strong fans, he personally came out to support Liangye and played a leading role to a certain extent. Qianyin's positioning does not conflict with Liang Ye's, so the fans can be considered harmonious. Now because of Qianyin's relationship, Qianyin's fans have actually united with Liang Ye's fans and formed an alliance to support Liang Ye. Liang Ye himself and Liang Ye's fans were very moved. Qianyin saw the good response on the internet, and ran to Xia Ying with a face full of embarrassment and asked for praise. How about it, Qianyin's, am still somewhat influential. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 979. Chapter 979. A dignified entertainment company is so stingy. As Qianyin spoke, he put his arm around Xia Ying's shoulders. Xia Ying glanced at Qianyin's with disgust. Take your dog's paws away from me. TCH, really, you are not attractive at all in my eyes, right? Qianyin's pouted and complained. Xia Ying gave him a roll of her eyes and continued, I told you not to talk about Liang Ye's affairs, but you are disobedient. Remember to go to Sister Wan to receive your punishment later. Qianyin's was immediately confused after hearing Xia Ying's words. Did he hear it correctly? He had obviously done something good, so forget it without reward or verbal praise. How could there be punishment? The sky is unfair. The boss is blind. But Qianyin's was still thinking about struggling for a while, preparing to grind on Xia Ying again and escape punishment. At this time, Xia Ying's assistant came over and interrupted Qianyin's next words. The assistant held a large bouquet of red roses in her hands and walked towards Xia Ying with an embarrassed look on her face. Xia Ying's eyes fell on the bouquet of roses, and she was stunned for a long time. It wasn't until the assistant came to her that Xia Ying realized what she was doing. Boss, this flower. Hey, isn't our company explicitly prohibited from accepting gifts from fans? Qianyin's looked at the bouquet of flowers curiously. Qianyin saw the label, which turned out to be flowers bought from the most famous flower shop in the imperial capital. The flowers there are sold one by one for the same price as gems, which is very expensive. Are all Xia Ying's fans such rich people? It's forbidden, but the other party keeps sending it and says it will be sent until the boss accepts it. Xia Ying held her forehead and sighed deeply. This kind of wealthy fan is really flattering. This is already the 10th day in a row. At the beginning, Xia Ying's assistant dealt with it in the usual way. He explained, and then refused, but the other party sent it directly to the door of Xia Ying's company, and then left a message saying that if he didn't accept it, he would keep sending it until Xia Ying accepted it. Wow, this bouquet of flowers is enough for me to buy several figures. Qianyin sighed with emotion, then leaned closer and smelled it. It smells so good. So, boss, do you want to accept this flower? The assistant carefully verified Xia Ying's opinion. Xia Ying had no choice but to compromise. Put it here, tell him I took it, and tell him not to buy it again in the future. Okay, the assistant put down the flowers and left. Qianyin's diligently helped Xia Ying arrange the flowers, and then said with a smile, Boss Xia, can we discuss the punishment again? Although I broke the discipline, I did a good thing after all, right? The merits and demerits balance each other. Let's forget about this matter. Can't. Xia Ying has a decisive attitude and cannot be persuaded at all. Qianyin's was also discouraged. Sister Wan's punishment is very cruel and inhumane. One of his favorite figures must be confiscated. Every time he does something bad, he will confiscate one. When he does something good and can be rewarded, he will take it out and give him one back. His current figures are completely insufficient. If they are confiscated again, his wealth will be empty. Hoff, Tang Tang is an entertainment company, and Xia Yingtang is a celebrity in the music industry. Why are they so stingy? Whether it's punishment or reward, her company won't pay a penny. Qianyins naturally didn't dare to say it out like this, so he could only think about it in his heart, and then whisper bad things about Xia Ying. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 980. Chapter 980. My brother Yudi has trained me well. Qianyins was still playing with Xia Ying's golden flowers, when suddenly, a small pink envelope fell down. It fell at Qianyin's feet. Qianyins was stunned for a moment, then bent down to pick it up. Qianyins was curious and was about to open it to take a look, but then he was blinded by the bright gilded characters Xia Ying personally opens on the cover. Well, he'd better not pry into the secrets of his boss and fans. Qianyins took the envelope, walked to Xia Ying who was working on the computer, and handed the envelope to Xia Ying. Xia Ying was confused by the envelope that suddenly appeared in front of her vision. She also saw the words on the cover. It seems that this fan is not only rich, but also has many tricks. Could it be said that he sent so many flowers here just to let Xia Ying read the letter he wrote? Xia Ying took it and opened it. Are you free on Sunday evening? Twilight Hotel, I would like to treat you to a meal. Li Sen. Xia Ying frowned, her pupils dilated, and her mind began to search for the familiar name Li Sen. By the way, during the last Stefan concert, the person Xia Ying accidentally bumped into outside the bathroom claimed to be a fan of Xia Ying. Now it seems, is it really that simple to be a fan? No matter how ardent a fan is, he knows to stay away from his idol's personal life and give him his own space. Unless it's some illegitimate fan, they would want to get involved in the idol's private life. Xia Ying always felt that there was something strange about this local fan. From the first time she saw him, Xia Ying felt that she was familiar with Li Sen, as if she had seen him before somewhere, but she couldn't remember it no matter what. Qianyin saw that Xia Ying had been dazed for such a long time, so he took the opportunity to lean over and look at the contents of the letter Xia Ying was holding in her hand. Holy shit, this wealthy fan wants to chase you. Qianyins was stunned. It's amazing, this star chaser is very pursuing. Xia Ying was still deep in thought when she was suddenly startled by Qianyin's loud voice. After Xia Ying recovered, she rolled her eyes, looked at Qianyins and said, "Don't keep making noises, trying to scare people to death." Hug, sorry, I'm so excited. Qianyins apologized hesitantly. Hey, but, are you going or not? Xia Ying asked Qianyins in return, if your fans invite you to have dinner, will you go? Male or female, it depends on whether you are handsome or not. Qianyins joked, completely mocking Xia Ying. Xia Ying was so angry that he couldn't speak. I should record what you said and play it to 11 Ju. When Qianyins heard this, it was okay. He was just joking. Why did Xia Ying take it seriously? It doesn't matter if she takes it seriously. The problem is that if Zihu takes it seriously, then he will have to kneel down on durians when he gets home. So you're not going? Of course, why should I go? It's inexplicable. After Xia Ying finished speaking, she threw the letter into the trash can nearby and ignored it. My brother Yudi has trained him well. Qianyins then joked. Xia Ying picked up a stack of documents and threw it at Qianyins. Qianyins quickly bent down to avoid it. You're not going to collect the fine yet, do you plan to receive double the amount directly? Xia Ying threatened, and Qianyins was immediately frightened. No, 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 and, I will go to collect the punishment right away, so that I won't be an eyesore to you. After Qianyins finished speaking, he disappeared in a flash. End of this chapter.